everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host Stoop Kid, if you didn't know. Today we're going to be checking out some more gacha stuff, and it will be Honkai Star Rail on the chopping block today for apparently a new crack character that's coming out that's going to be able to be possibly played without being on your team. And supposedly being able to res like once somebody or each person in the team once, I don't know. But regardless, if that's the case, this might be the most broken character in Honkai to drop yet, and I wonder how they're gonna top this. So let's see how crazy this actually is in other people's opinion.
Welcome back.
This is also a video by Moose on Caffeine. I'll make sure to link the video down below for you guys if anyone wants to watch the original, which you should. Because this video seems pretty entertaining. I like some of it. I watched a bit of it in the beginning. Not too much though.
If you've seen my last couple of videos, you'd know that I was talking about how when 3.2 comes out, it's going to be a show that Star Rail will not recover from, and for a couple specific reasons. Now, I'm not talking about story quality or event quality or anything of the sort, because quite frankly, if March isn't in the story or the event, I probably don't care about it, so I'm not going to criticize it. I'm here to discuss something more important to me. The kids of Castoris and Anaxa, along with basically everything from V1 of the 3.2 betas, are out right now. And I gotta say, it is not looking good for the future of this game. I've talked about rule-breaking kit designs in Star Rail before, and also about how they market their game very unsustainably, and they're doubling down heavily with Castoris and Anaxa's kits. In today's very unsustainably.
Yeah, they were definitely getting to the point of power creep for sure.
And they're doubling down
because it's like with that one character I just saw that's coming out earlier today that does like a gun, it makes a tree of life or whatever.
Gun. Yes. Guns kill.
He apparently does all damage resist or something like that. Like, so he just makes Silver just even worse. And I wanted Silver so bad too, and now she's just looking worse every new release.
Heavily with Castoris and Anaxa's kits. In today's video, we're going to be discussing the broken parts about Castoris and Anaxa without actually showing any gameplay if you're worried about spoilers, and why them being broken is very obviously bad for the game. We've got a lot to talk about today, so strap in. So if you want a really quick TLDR of what's going on in the beta so far, I'm just going to say that it's gonna get a whole lot worse before it gets any better at all. Because we don't even have any info about character buffs yet. Now, as I said, I'm not going to show any gameplay, and I'm also not going to show any images that would be against Hoyo's TOS, because I don't want to potentially get struck by them. So if you want to find anything about the betas, go join the Expression and Discord server, and we'll have you covered there. Now, Castoris and Anaxa are very broken and very unbalanced. Now, I already spoke about this in a previous video about rule-breaking kits, and while you should definitely go watch that, I'll briefly summarize it here. Honkai Star Rail is supposed to have two rules or two standards that characters have to follow when it comes to its combat and gameplay, and those are the characters' paths and their elemental types. However, when it comes to most characters that Star Rail has been releasing after 2.0, almost every new character has been getting increasingly broken because they break either a path rule or an elemental type rule. So one of
you said that is still pretty bad.
The biggest factors for power creep in Honkai Star Rail isn't necessarily raw damage numbers, but the fabrication of increase of raw damage numbers through breaking the rules of the game. This rule-breaking kit design standard also has the side effect of being very predatory and making players feel forced to pull for many new characters. Characters that broke these gameplay rules range from Acheron to Firefly to Fei Xiao, and that group now includes Anaxa and Castoris as well. Castoris also breaks another rule that I haven't really mentioned in the last video. Now, she is a remembrance unit, as all of us probably know, and she is supposed to be the newest, strongest DPS unit in the game because she's a DPS unit that's the anniversary character. However, alongside being the newest, strongest DPS unit in the game, she's also one of the strongest support units in the game and also one of the strongest healers in the game. Because not only does she apply 25% reduced all-type resistance to all enemies on the field when her Memo Sprite is active, but also grants a 10% damage boost to all allies through another part of her kit, and also,
when you... so fire. After obtaining casters, I think I read some of this before. After obtaining casters or when casters is in the current team receive the following effect in battle: when an allied character receives a killing blow, all allies that receive a killing blow in this action enter the lunar cocoon state. Characters in lunar cocoon delay but coming down and can take one action normally after the action. If they receive healing or have a shield before their next turn, lunar cocoon is removed. Otherwise, they will be down immediately. This effect can be triggered one time per battle. So, one free res per battle, basically. But that's after obtaining. So that means even honor also. Boy, that's gonna be crazy if that's the
You
case.
pull Castoris on your account, you get a free revive for every single character, whether or not Castoris is actually on the team or not. A character that is supposed to be a main DPS has no business buffing up the entire party, especially when it's such an insanely overpowered and broken buff, or debuff in the case of Castoris, as all-type resistance shred. We've seen main DPS characters do this before, but in those cases it's less severe. Acheron only reduces 20% all-type resistance when it comes to her own ultimate, and it does not affect her teammates at all, and even if it did, most of her viable teammates don't even do that much damage. Herta gives herself and her teammates 80% crit damage when there are 2 erudition units on the field, and while that choice is most definitely put there so you're forced to pull a really strong erudition unit for her like Anaxa, but we'll get to him later, it definitely wasn't needed because Herta can do millions of damage effortlessly anyway, and all it will do is increase HP inflation.
Who pulled for Herta? I know there's also people that did. I skipped her and Aglaya. I was thinking about getting Aglaya and her, but I just feel like playing for their runs. But I'm hearing a lot of noise around this new chick, Castoris and Anaxa. So that got me a little bit intrigued to play. And also, the what you call it? The Fate collab should be coming around soon as well. Hope we get some more news on that. I know we're probably obviously going to say, but I hope we get Shiro. I love Shiro. He's my favorite in that version. Because, like, I don't know. He was really cool to me. And the fact that he was able to fight his future self and fight all these other cool characters like Gilgamesh and shit was so dope. Especially when he did the Trace-on shit. That shit was fire.
Although 80% crit damage still isn't as significant of a buff, or again, debuff in this case, as Castoris reducing all-type resistance by 25%. And she's a main DPS unit, not a support unit. Her best teammate by far is Tribi, and with those two you have 49% resistance penetration, which means that not only can you use them anywhere
I'm skipping Tribulate. I don't care for the child.
in the game, whether the enemies are single target or AoE, or whether they're weak to quantum or not, but also means that they get an absolutely unfair damage boost when it comes to enemies that are quantum weak. It was already going to be the strongest team in the game without Castoris' 25% resistance penetration, trust me. She's an anniversary character, they're gonna make her strong. Then power creep her when the next character comes out, although Annex's kit is honestly a show, I'm not going to lie. It's probably the kit in the game that throws balance out of the window the farthest and spits in the face of anyone who has the gall to think that this game would have any semblance of
he's the one I saw
kit.
today. His animations are fired, but he sounds broken as all shit. He applies like all weaknesses of all types to everybody. I think it was something like that, and that's gonna be. How are they gonna work that? Like, this is gonna break the game.
Design. So Annex has this little cool thing in his kit where he can apply all weaknesses in the game on an enemy, and even if it does not.
Yep, here it is right here. Tetred Wisdom Trinity Supreme Impair. Each time an axe attacks enemy target one time, inflict one random type weakness. Jesus. It's just normal shit to the targets, lasting for 3 turns with priority to the weakness type that the target has yet to have. Wow. So he can just keep applying weaknesses. When an axe is on the battlefield, he inflicts the exposed nature state to enemy targets with at least 5 different type weaknesses. Anaxa deals 48% to 96% more damage to targets in exposed nature state. In addition to using a basic attack or skill on targets in exposed nature state allows him to
reduce their resistances to those elements, it still leaves them
sounds worse
susceptible to getting
than
toughness
Caprice.
broken by any weakness he applies. And even if you're the kind of person to not think that weakness implants are very powerful, then you don't
Weakness
have to
im-
look far to notice that
Bruh,
Anaxa also gives
if
himself
you think weakness implants are not powerful, that's insane. That's literally breaking past the game itself and just saying, nah, I'm gonna make it weak because I say so. And then you still clear through things depending on the content you're clearing. I have heard like mock and some of the other content's been getting harder with the updates they've been doing, but I don't know. It might increase the damage now because of the crazy healing and the res buff from Catrice.
140% crit damage, and the whole party a 25% damage boost, which the former is more crit damage than any support unit in the game could ever achieve. Even Sparkle, who has the highest crit damage boost, would struggle to increase a character's crit damage by 140, and the latter is a team-wide 25% extra damage if there are 2 Erudition units, because why the f not? Also, I still haven't touched up enough on the fact that whoever pulls for Castories gets a free revive on all of the characters in their accounts, regardless of whether or not Castories is in the team. So if you pull for Castories and then not even
Bruh, if they really keep that in, I'm not gonna lie, that's gonna be insane.
use her whatsoever, you get a free revive once every battle and every single piece of content forever, no matter what. This is obviously very broken for many reasons that I really hope I don't have to lecture you about. It's just more stuff that they put into her kit in hopes they entice players to spend on her, without thinking about the balance of the game, which is just more unsustainable marketing they're doing, which I also explained in depth why it is bad. Basically, even if someone does not like Castories and doesn't want to play her, they're still very incentivized to pull for her because she gives everyone, whether or not they even use
I mean, I didn't need the res mechanic, to be honest. Like, they could have left that out, because I would have pulled it for her just simply off her Memo Spare Pokemon, whatever shit. It's a freaking dead dragon. Like, that shit is hard as fuck. And if she uses a scythe, like, man, I'm pulling her just off that alone. And also want to, for content. But, I need this extra broken shit, the game's already broken to beyond, I won't say beyond repair, but it's broken right now. But that would have been, we didn't need all that. If they wanted to do, they should have given it to the members right for the MC.
Castories or not, a free revive. That isn't balanced. Oh, and I just want to insert this after the initial recording of the script. I just kind of forgot to include this. These are obviously V1 kits, but regardless of their multipliers and numbers, the foundations of these kits are still uselessly broken. They're not going to remove Castories' resistance penetration. They're not going to remove Anaxa applying all weaknesses in the game. I hope they do, but they've never changed the foundation of a kit so heavily, so I doubt it. I still hope they do, but I doubt it. Either way, let's continue. Now
they did nerf Kirby like 3 times. So, possibly if we make enough noise about it. Because I'm not saying, I don't want all this broken shit, because then she's going to make the game just whisper character release, because then it's going to be like, oh, you need this character to clear all content now and stuff like that, and then you can't really use old characters like that no more. That's why I think that's one of the main issues we're having with old characters not being buffed. Because then if you don't want to like pull the new characters, you just want to use the characters you have, or wait for new characters you like now. It's like, okay, if I don't get this character now, I can't clear anything.
Regardless of the free revive, both of these units having such insane kits damage-wise for no reason is obviously a problem. And I've explained it briefly both in this video and in the rule-breaking kits video. However, there is a little extra thing to add here, and that is, a lot of people are going to talk about character buffs offsetting this. But those people would also be involved in some incredibly wishful thinking. First things first, if you think that they're going to make Zila anywhere comparable to even someone like Acheron, let alone Castories, you're setting yourself up to be incredibly disappointed. Second, if they do make older units sufficiently viable to the point where they don't feel bad to play in endgame content like they do right now, it wouldn't matter, because not only will Castories still power creep them because she does triple their damage with her 49 resistance penetration with her best team, but the characters after her will undoubtedly have increasingly broken kits, as what has been happening with this game over the past year. I was really hoping that they wouldn't make these new characters unnecessarily broken, because I promise you they would sell even better if you made them simply balanced than if you were to make them very overpowered, because people don't like feeling forced to pull for anything. I'm more than convinced that by the end of the 3.x update, even though he is not a Herdabot specific,
I kind of agree. I think people like broken stuff, just not as broken as this, especially on this kind of level, because we are getting to that state of the game. And they just think like, oh, if the unit isn't crazy, no one might pull for it. So I think that's maybe why they do stuff like this, and also money, clearly, to make a character I must pull. So then that's probably also the case in the matter, probably.
Specifically, Anaxa will be what Jiaozhou is to Acheron or what Robin is to Fei Xiao, and will be basically the only thing saving her from becoming a T0.5 or even T1 unit, because Castoris, Phaenon, and their support units, and also whatever else DPS unit they release, would triple her damage otherwise. I'm also really not excited to listen to any of the people doom posting the shit out of both of these two characters because they want broken units. I've already seen some people doom post the fact that Castoris doesn't have 100% uptime, and that's kind of ridiculous. I guarantee you.
How 100% uptime is crazy on cast series. Are you talking about the res? Because that's the thing. I mean, that's insane.
Some people are going to find some other nitpicks about Castoris' kit and start calling her ass and not worth it, and worse than Herda by a mile because of some small thing, and how some other guy is going to somehow try and explain how Anaxa is worse than Jade. We've already seen Triby get so heavily doom boosted after V5 that they had to hotfix her and give her a buff that she would have been perfectly fine, but also still very powerful unit without. Endgame is definitely the most important factor for me when it comes to most games. As I said in the intro, if the story and events don't have March, I probably don't care about them. I won't say that 3.2 is going to suck just because I don't care for the story. The story is probably going to be great, especially if they do implement the changes they said they were going to. However, what a lot of people overlook when it comes to a new update quality is actually character balance. New characters being balanced is insanely important, and with Star Rail, almost every single new character has to be an upgrade over the previous one, and it just gets insanely tedious to keep up with, especially when not only...
This is why I really don't know, maybe at this point they could just maybe focus on making characters just not so broken with everything on them, and just try to lean into more like funky different play styles, like mini games or something like that, like more mini game-esque things, like how they did for Qingxi. I forgot how you say her name, the girl at the board game. And you know, so you can still make them good, but just give them just different mini game mechanics that apply attacks or buffs or debuffs or remove buffs, whatnot.
Does the game not give you enough resources to do so? But sometimes you just want to sit with your favorite characters you got back in 1.x and clear the content, and in this game, you just can't. Even so,
yeah, exactly. That's one thing I was saying earlier. Like, they're making it harder and harder to play the older characters now at this point. Now, if you didn't want to pull this from the newer characters, you're almost forced to now, especially these kinds of characters where you have universal robust, where you don't have to use the character. If that's even still goes live with the character, and you have an Oxford that can just apply insane debuffs. You know, so it's making these characters almost like must pull.
Sometimes if you do have their best support units, and that just doesn't feel good. Now I have more to say about this topic and many other topics as well, but I'm going to leave it to the next video. For now, this is going to be it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for the next video that's coming soon, but I have a very strong feeling that if you're looking specifically for Star Rail content, you probably shouldn't subscribe, because if 3.2 continues going this way, I'm out of here. I'm becoming a variety channel instead. Either way, you should join the Express Run Discord server, because it's not just about Star Rail, it's about everything from video games to anime to real-life general chats. Click the link below because I'll be expecting you there.
So I think that was a great video, very good presentation. I thought it was very informing, and I agree with a lot of his points. I feel the same about a lot of what he's saying, and I may check out some more of his videos in the future and down the line, because I think he's very smart and and like I said, I had a lot of points that I agree with and have myself, like you know, the marketing of the characters and the power creep, like better end game, whatnot, things like that. But you know, like I said, great video. Make sure to check him out, Moose on Caffeine. I'm pretty sure this is his actual name for his YouTube channel. But if you enjoyed that reaction video, make sure to hit a like and don't forget to subscribe. And let me know what you thought about this video down below. And let me know what you think, if Honkai is going to start becoming like Genshin, where we're not going, where we're gonna, just consistently get crazy characters, but that can just do everything. But instead of them getting that, we're getting that in comparison, and they're just making older units look worse and worse. And unplayable basically at this point, unless they buff them or get a specific unit for them. But I'm rambling on now at this point. But hope you guys have a good day now. Make sure to let me know what you thought about it, like I said down below, and don't forget to subscribe. Peace and have a good one.